Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Simon. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here today and that we have this extra session for beginning knowledge so that I can share a little bit of the content. It was nice seeing and meeting you guys on Thursday with our Zoom session. So I tried to incorporate everything that we discussed over there and things you've asked me to do. I have a lot to say. As we've said on Thursday, beginning knowledge has the 3 disciplines. So it's really a lot of content. So I'm going to hopefully explain everything, but go through it thoroughly. There might be things that I won't touch on today, but please feel free then to email me afterwards with your questions. And you're also welcome to ask me any questions afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to share my PowerPoint over here. Okay, so just to give you my personal email, you're really more than welcome to email me back with specific questions that you have, and then I will get back to you as soon as I have available space. Just to give you a little bit feedback to who I am. There's my family. So we have a little baby boy that's 14 months at the moment, keeping us busy, but we're really enjoying the home time and having extra time at home at the moment. Okay, so that's me. You have my email. Please, guys, please, if you're struggling, if you're unsure what's going on, email me so that I can help and guide you with your specific questions. Okay, just to show you what I've planned for today in the overview, I'm going to quickly go through the study guide and the amendments made to the study guide. I don't want to go into detail with this, but I think it is important to share this with you because we made the amendments to the study guide, and so that you just can link what's happening on the ECI page and the study guide. Then I'm quickly going to run through unpacking beginning knowledge. I know we've started, or we talked about it on Thursday as well, but I just want to give an overall view of what is beginning knowledge so that I can go into specific details with this, the approaches. Then I will start with the inquiry-based approach, and then I've included the technology approach. I know you asked about the inquiry-based approach, but I'm going to end with the technology as well, because out of experience, a lot of times students struggle with this, especially with applying the approach, and it's very important that you know and understand that. I also wanted to do the discovery approach, but we're really not going to have time today. So because the assignment is based on the inquiry-based and we're not going to focus on the discovery, I thought I'll leave that out for today. But if you're unsure, again, let me know. Maybe we can discuss it in a later session. Okay, so this is a page out of your study guide. We've added the amendments. Now, the Fleer and Hardy book from last year was 2007, and unfortunately they said they're not printing that version anymore, and they sent out the new textbook. So when we heard about it and we got asked for the textbook, we tried to upload and amend the study guide, and that was the extra pages that we've uploaded for you. So I went and just deleted on my page over here, deleted the extra things and pasted in the new ones from the study guide, amended study guide. So I would advise you guys to do the same so that you can really take your study guide at the end and just go through that. If you take the page, take an hour and just scratch out everything and add the new pages and things in, it will help you, especially to make sense of what's going on. We really apologize for this. This is not the best way of doing it, but that was unfortunately what was handed to us, and we tried to amend it according to the approaches that's been discussed in the new textbook. So lesson 2 is exactly the same, it's just the page numbers that's different. Discovery approach is exactly the same, it's just the page number that's going to be different. The next one, you will see we made a few amendments over here. Now the lesson 4 change, we changed it, the process skills to the inquiry-based approach. I took the wrong one over there. So the process skills and the inquiry-based, you can actually use what's happening in the study guide at the moment. So the previous textbook had different approaches that they looked into. One was the interactive approach that's not in the new version. So that's why we changed lesson 5. But the inquiry-based approach is an approach that's being used worldwide at the moment, and that's why they've added that to the new version. It also uses the process skills that's in your study guide, and it also uses some of the same things that you use in the process skills approach. So the study guide information for lesson 4, you can actually just use and apply it to what's happening in the textbook. So those chapters, chapter 5 and 6, you can actually just apply that knowledge in the content in the study guide to what's happening over here. So sorry for this, this should just then be inquiry based. I'm going to write it out here. They sometimes refer to it as inquiry-based learning or the inquiry-based approach, as they say in the textbook, but don't be confused, it's exactly the same thing. So please use the study guide and the chapters in the textbook. We've added new learning outcomes, so go through that. And then, like I've said, lesson 5 was another approach that's not in the new textbook, so we've changed that. Just look at these chapters in your study guide, or in your textbook. Please don't use the study guide. You will see it's not going to overlap. It's a different approach, and we don't have it in the textbook. The main focus at the moment is the inquiry-based approach, so it's not necessary for us to go through that approach and for you guys to actually learn it. Then lesson 6 is the same as the previous version. We've just changed the chapters and the pages, so you can use that. And then the last lesson is exactly the same. Now, I just want to explain, in the beginning, I've uploaded announcements, but in the beginning, we did not have the textbook yet. So I've tried to help you guys at each lesson. So on ECI, I've indicated the lesson and the week that you should use to go through that content. Now this links with the page in the study guide. And then for each week or lesson, I've indicated what you should actually read or do. So that's the same as what's in the study guide. You should read the caps that you guys have done. You should do lesson 1 in the study guide. And then there was a quiz that you had to do. That's one of the assessment tasks that's in the new assessment guide, but we spoke about that on Thursday. So most of you have done that quiz. And then I've added practical activities. Now these activities are exactly the same as the ones in your study guide. I've just uploaded some of them onto the ECI because they ask for, or it's video links, or it's a link onto the internet that you have to read. So that's extra. Then we've added PowerPoints that you can look at. And then sometimes I've added extra activities. So this was the activity that we looked at on Thursday. This one I'm going to talk about today. I've uploaded these activities because it's sometimes difficult to take the content and practically apply it. So I want you guys to actually go think about what you've read, what you've learned, and try to see if you understand. Some of it I've indicated it's just for extra it's an extra activity. You can see if you understand the knowledge. You're more than welcome to submit that, send me a message or send it personally to me and I can give you feedback regarding that. But this was, I've started that especially in the beginning when you guys didn't have the new textbook, just so that we can help you to refer you back to the right sections. For the rest of the program, we've uploaded this and I've put up an announcement. So for the first week, you can revise lesson 1 and 2 that we've already done in the first part. And then we've uploaded exactly what assessment you should do for this week. Now, I'm not going to go through the assessments at the moment. I think we've discussed that thoroughly on Thursday. If you're still unsure, please email us and then we will get back to you. But please follow this in regards to your content. It will link to what we've been asking you with the assignments. Okay, so that's just overall how we've set out the ECI and the amendments that were made. Now I'm going to start with what is beginning knowledge. So this is a page out of the CAPS document. I'm not teaching you the CAPS, but you must be able to apply what's said and what's done in the CAPS. So I'm going to refer back to the CAPS, and that's why we've started lesson 1 with the CAPS document, because you can work in a school that's not using the CAPS document, and you must be able to apply the knowledge from beginning knowledge, so natural sciences, social sciences, technology, to that curriculum used at that school. But for now, we're using the departmental curriculum, so they have beginning knowledge over there. And you will see on the right-hand side the hours per week for the grades. And on Thursday, I also said the curriculum is not very clear on what exactly you should discuss under each thing. So that's very nice because you can decide. You must just understand and make sure that you know what is natural sciences, what is technology, what is social sciences, and what I should teach under each one if I look at knowledge, skills, and values. So keep that in mind. So let's go into more depth. What is beginning knowledge? If you look over here, you will see it's based out of actually 4 disciplines: history and geography, that makes up social sciences, natural sciences, and technology, that I think you guys know now by heart. This is just a short draft out of page 66 of the CAPS document. In the foundation phase, we are focusing on developing the concepts, so the knowledge, skills, and values regarding a certain subject to the kids. So if you go look at each different discipline, make sure that you understand what knowledge, skills, and values I can link back to this particular discipline, and that will help you to take the theme and divide it up and know, okay, I'm busy with natural sciences, I'm busy with social sciences, but in the end, we're trying to develop the kid holistically. So looking at everything and all these skills will help the kid eventually to fit into the world and be a great citizen in South Africa. So we're actually busy with what's happening underneath. If you look at this picture, what's happening at ground level, or if we look at this picture, what's happening underground, the roots. With beginning knowledge, teachers sometimes feel we can leave it out, it's not important, but if we don't focus on these skills, values, and knowledge, the whole tree is going to fall down. We're going to get this carrot and not this one. So the knowledge, values, and skills that they learn in beginning knowledge is really, really important, and it's really a fun and great lesson that you can use in foundation phase. So saying that, I'll put up a discussion forum on the ECI. And I've asked you guys to just go explain what is the importance of beginning knowledge in grade R. Now, the reason that I've asked this is sometimes, like I've said, people who teachers feel that we have to make sure that the child can read and write and do maths. Beginning knowledge is not necessarily important for them to be promoted to the next grade. So we're so focused on other subjects, and we quite often leave beginning knowledge. I know out of experience that you guys don't see beginning knowledge in the schools. You don't see the inquiry-based learning, and that's very sad because the kids really enjoy these type of lessons, and the skills, values, and knowledge that they're going to learn are really, really important to help us to make citizens that's actually informed, know what's going on, and they can actually make a difference in South Africa and the world around them. So looking into citizenship. So I've just cut and pasted two comments from you guys. So thank you for all of you who've actually done the forum. It was nice going through it and just to seeing your interpretation, but hopefully by the end you will understand that this is really an important subject and I have to include it in my classes. So beginning knowledge consists of social sciences. Here at the bottom is a very nice explanation of the different parts, and then she goes into saying social science concepts. So if we look at this, and the child will understand of conservation, cause and effect, place, adaptation, relationship, interdependence, diversity. If we look at everything that the child's going to know, the process skills that they're going to learn in science, technology, solving problems, we can't leave this out. And it's really an important subject to understand. So if you have time, go through the forum, see if you agree, think of if somebody asks you, a teacher come to you, or a parent maybe will ask you sometime, what is beginning knowledge? What exactly are you teaching the children? Then you have an answer and you know why. Now I want to ask you to just think of a picture of a scientist. I know we don't have time, just get a picture in your head. I'm going to give you a few minutes. Okay. Is your picture something like this? Something like this? Can you see what everything, all the pictures have in common? It's an old man, grey hair, white jacket. And that's sometimes our perception of what we do in science and who can do science. If this is your picture, I want you to change it today to something like this. What is science? It's actually just finding out how the world works. It's using the skills to make sense of things around you. So if your picture is an old man, grey, then a kid will think they can't be the scientist. I'm not old, I'm not smart, I'm not grey. A girl, out of research, it shows girls won't go into the profession because this is our perception of what we think a scientist should be. For today, we know that a scientist is curious, they want to find out how things work, and they have certain skills. If we look at the learner in the foundation phase, what do we know about them? They're curious, they want to find out how things work, they experiment on their own, they investigate on their own, they play with things around them, and then they make sense of how things work. So they are, in fact, scientists without us putting on the coat and the goggles. They will explore and find out how the world works around them on their own. Why are you there? You are there to guide them, to learn the certain skills, values, and knowledge, and they eventually will use those skills to understand the world and to understand what's going on around them. Okay. So capitalize on the skills that the kids already have. make the lessons fun for them, and please use the inquiry-based approach because it's really a fun way to give lessons in the foundation phase. This is out of the CAPS document, so I just want to go back to that again. What exactly are they asking of us? Social science concepts. We have to look at those concepts when you prepare a lesson. So that would link back to your content that you're going to do in the lesson. So not specifically the skills, but we're going to look into the content if we look at those concepts. For natural sciences, they indicate the concepts, but then they have skills as well. Now, these skills are really, really, really important because the skills are actually what the main focus of science and the inquiry-based learning is all about. So you should know the skills by heart and you should be able to apply the skills. And then the last one is the skills from the technology design process. So yeah, this is exactly what the CAPS document is explaining to you guys. Now you must take this, the themes that they give over there, and take everything that you're going to learn in this subject and apply it and make sure that the kids will, at the end, have these skills and these concepts to understand the world around them. So I have a short video. I know you guys asked me on Thursday to just go through what exactly is social sciences, natural sciences, and technology. So I'm going to discuss it today. But I want you to look at this video of social sciences. I might just quickly stop and go on to the next slide. I have the name of the video at the top. You can Google it and watch it on your own time, but just sit back and see what they discuss and say what social sciences is.
Janae?
Yes.
Sorry, Janae, you'll just have to restart the video, but before you do, in order for us to hear the sound, you'll have to reshare your screen. And as part of resharing your screen, you'll see at the bottom left of the share window, there's a little tick box to share audio. You'll just need to reshare and enable sharing of audio.
Okay, I'll try that quickly. So I have to stop sharing.
And then just reshare. So
share computer sound.
That's it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Simon. I'm going to start again. Is that better?
All right. We're all settled? Yes? Well, good. Welcome. We are the Social Science Department. Now I'll get right to it. The question on everyone's mind, just what the heck is social science? Well, let me try to explain. Social, as in society, as in human beings. Science, as in the facts, the systematic study of a thing, the pursuit of its true nature. We seek to understand the nature of people and society. What does it mean to be human? What defines a person? Is it history? Is it ancestry? How has he worked, struggled, thrived?
In his environment.
Sorry?
In his environment. Did he live on a mountain or in the desert or near the sea, in the Arctic? Ancestry is important, but location is paramount.
That's all very fascinating, but I have a question. What is this person like? Is it a man or a woman? What's her race? What does he or she do?
Well, profession relies greatly on geography. The natural resources that exist here.
Proximity to natural resources is fine, but what about proximity to other people? The sociological element is undeniable. What happens when he feels the influence of other human beings? Then, how will he behave? What will be expected of him? Will he fulfill these expectations? Now it's a collection of people. It's a town or a city. It's a community.
Community. But who's in charge? Whoa. We need structure. Leaders.
Hey, everybody, check me out.
Several leaders if we can. Oh, that's better. See, when we organize, we give our man a voice, an identity within his society. This is where his ancestry and his geography and his social interaction come together. The political realm.
But is the true nature of man witnessed only in his interaction with the world around him? I ask you, where do his actions begin? With a thought, and where?
Okay, sorry, I'm going to stop it there. Like I said, you can go and watch the video on your own time. We don't have time to go into detail, but I just wanted to show you guys the video because it really just give you, out of experience, students feel that they can link a few themes that they can discuss with social sciences when they look at that. In social sciences, we're looking at the environments, our relationship to our environment, our relationship to each other. We with natural sciences, because I know you guys struggle to know when I'm actually busy with natural sciences and when I'm busy with social sciences. With natural sciences, we try to find out how the world works. So we will use the investigation or the scientific skills to understand this phenomena or what's happening and to explain the can I say what's happening behind the screen and how it works. So you can use those, like I said on Thursday, those are the concepts that you can look into. With technology, we're actually solving a problem and you're making something. If you want to do more content or knowledge-based lesson, I would use one of those indicated there at the top: structures, processing, systems, and controls. But in the foundation phase, mostly you identify a problem and then you use the design process to solve that, and we're going to discuss that a little bit later on. And then social sciences, you want them to understand these concepts in the end. So with social sciences and natural sciences, if I take for an example a plant, and we have to look at the seed and how the different parts of the plant. Let's look into the different parts of the plant. With natural sciences, we're going to focus on the different parts that you get. We're going to look into the function of each one. If we cut off the roots and there's no roots of the plant and you put that in the ground or in water, what's going to happen? So you want to find out actually what's happening with this plant. With social sciences, you won't discuss anything of that. With the plant, you will discuss the different, if you look at South Africa, the different provinces and where we get different plant types and where we will plant them, what plants we can eat and use for ourselves. So it's more what's the influence of the plants on us or us on the plants than in natural sciences. We want to find out how this plant works. If you take away the leaves, what's going to happen? So really if you have a theme, you're using the process skills for natural sciences, then it's fine. If you have social sciences or a theme and you look into the effect of that theme on you as a person, people as in the society, or in the world around us, then you're busy with social sciences. But I have quite a few of you sent your mind maps to me and it looks really nice. If you're still unsure with your assignment, send me your mind map and I can go through it. We've also discussed it on Thursday, so go look at that session again. I'm going to switch over then to inquiry-based. approach, like I said earlier, inquiry-based learning is exactly the same. So if you're going to do research, don't let that that you're unsure and you don't know now inquiry-based learning and I can't find the approach. The approach is just a word they've used in the textbook, but a lot of times they talk about IBL, inquiry-based learning, and there's really a lot of things on the internet. You guys have asked me to upload extra videos, so I've done that. There was a book on ECI with extra videos. I've just added to those videos, so please go look at that. But if you look at the two pictures over here, what picture is the one that's actually happening in school at the moment? Is the one on the right or the one on the left? So most of the times we see this, and you think you as a teacher are supposed to stand in front of the class and teach the children, and you're just pouring all your knowledge over and explaining everything to the kids the way I'm doing now, but that's actually wrong. We know out of research how kids learn, and that's why chapter 2 is so important. So go look into the understanding how kids make sense of the world. It's through concrete or hands-on activities. They should touch and feel, be part of the learning, and not just sit back and you informing them what they should know and they shouldn't know. So over here you can see the interaction. The kids are very excited and they're participating, so they're learning. So what we actually want to do with the inquiry base, and that's one of the assumptions, is that the kids have knowledge and an understanding of the world. They've been born to make sense of their world out of play, being part of it, touching and being curious, like I said previously. So they made their own assumptions and knowledge about how things work. But sometimes that knowledge is not right. So we can't just stand in front of the class like this picture and try and tell them, no, this is what you said, but it's wrong. This is actually how it works. Because they won't make the link from what they understand to what you want them to understand. That link will be made when you guide them from what they know to what you want them to understand. And that happens with inquiry-based learning. So it's really important with inquiry-based learning that you first find out what the learner understand and know about a certain concept. And that with the 5 E's is the first part. So we're going to discuss the 5 E's because you've asked me to go through that on Thursday. But with the engagement part, with the 5 E's, we actually want to see what does the kid understand. And now you're going to help and guide them with the process skills to get them to the understanding. Maybe it might not be what you want them to understand, but it might be a little bit further than they are at the moment. It might still be misgone or wrong, but please don't tell them, no, you're wrong, this is how it is. Guide them, ask questions. Yeah, that is really, really interesting, but have you ever thought about this? Let's do an experiment. And that's where the elaborate phase of the 5 E's comes into, where you help and guide them to, after we've explored, after we've explained, now we can go see how can we make this or help you to understand the knowledge. So let's see. If you Google it, you will get the following explanation. Inquiry-based learning is an approach to learning that emphasizes the student's role in the learning process. So they are going to have an outcome or an expectation of what they want to learn and understand, and please use that. So you are not just going to tell them, you're going to guide them, you are the facilitator. But How do we do that? We use the process skills or scientific process skills. So I'm quickly going to go through each one, but please make sure that you understand and you are able to apply these process skills, because like I've said earlier, this is what everything gets down to. The kids should be able to understand and engage with the world using these process skills. So observing, that's easy. It's just using your senses. So if you observe, please don't just let the kids use one sense. So most of the times the students will say they look, or what about taste and feel, touch, smell, listen. So let them use all their senses to observe the concrete hands-on thing that you're giving them. Comparing, so don't compare the experiments and what you get there. You're actually comparing characteristics of a thing. So if you look at animals, we can compare domestic animals and wild animals with each other and look at what's the same and what's different, and then we can classify according to the comparison. Measuring using standard or non-standard units, that depends on the grade. If it's grade R, please don't go use a ruler. They can measure something with using like wool or anything else, their fingers, their feet, their hands, but don't use standard units. Experimenting. Now, experimenting is really, really important. This is where the kids are actually going to see, they have this prediction and see if they're actually right. So experiment, we will have prediction at the bottom. An experiment can never be without a prediction. Otherwise, no learning will take place. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. An experiment can never be without a prediction, because otherwise the kids will make we just do the experiment, but we haven't learned anything. If they've made a prediction, we do the experiment, then they will realize, okay, what I thought is wrong, and why is this wrong? And now we can go into the content and we can discuss and do the explanation parts of the 5 E's. And now they will realize, okay, I thought this, but actually this is what's happening. I want to do another experiment. So please, guys, do a prediction. Communicating, that can be in different ways depending on your grade, but you have to teach the kid to communicate, talk about what they've learned, what they've seen, write it down, draw it up, inferring, using their knowledge to make sense what's happening, and then prediction, the last one, they're guessing what's going to happen. You will see this is a bit different from the ones in the caps. The study guide has skills, and then the textbook. Make sure that you know all of them. Don't use everything in one lesson. Indicate what you're going to use, and then try to choose 2 or 3, 4 in a lesson depending on the grade. Okay, so the 5 E's. Now this is how you're going to plan your lesson. You don't have to use the 5 E's in one lesson. So with the first one, it's the engaging part or engagement phase. It's not for you to lecture the children, it's for you to find out what they know. So you want to find out that prior knowledge that I talked about, because you have to guide them to get from here to here. Because what's happening at school? We're talking about we're talking about a plant as a living thing. But if you ask the kid what is a living thing, they're going to tell you it's something with eyes, ears, a mouth, and a nose. So in that kid's mind, is a plant a living thing? No. But you talking about this plant dying and the plant living, and they can't make the connection from this is a living thing to everything with eyes and ears and a nose is a living thing. So you first have to explain a living thing doesn't have to have eyes and ears. We can plant a plant and then stop giving it water and then see what's going to happen. Okay, it dies. If it dies, yes, it lived, so we can go into a lesson there. So sometimes I think engagement is a really good first lesson to do, and then you can go into the exploration, but you don't have to put all 5 E's in one lesson. I know we asked you to indicate in your essay how you've used the 5 E's, so yes, you can link it back to the lesson and you can use all 5, but sometimes it's good to get the children's prior knowledge and then base your next lesson on that. Then we explore, you can do that with engagement as well. Try to ask the kids, what do they know? What do they want to know? Because then you're going to base your whole lesson on that. Then you explore, here is where the scientific skills gets in. You're going to, it's hands-on activities, they're going to observe, they're going to do experiments, they're going to touch things and explore. So use your scientific skills over here. The explanation part is where you as a teacher explain knowledge, so you can help the kids from their misunderstanding to what it really is. But sometimes it's good to just ask questions and then go over to the next phase, elaboration, where the kid can actually have new questions now and you can investigate that. And then in the last part, evaluation, it's always important to help the kid to give feedback, to reflect on the knowledge that they've learned. Have they actually answered all the questions, what they wanted to know, or what they wanted to find out? I know we only have a few minutes left, so I'm quickly going to go through the last slides and then I'll see if there's any questions. The assumptions, it's really straightforward. It is in your textbook, so please go read through that on your own time. The last thing that I wanted to go through was the design process. This is really important to understand. If you look at that Nike shoe, that went through a process to get there. So we're actually teaching kids to solve problems and to make things. And that happens via this process. Where we investigate the problem. You have to give the kid a problem that they have to solve. Then they have to do research on it, and then they have to design what they're going to make. Now they make it, and then they evaluate it, and then after that it's communication, and then we can start over again. If we said in the beginning the car should be able to drive that we're going to make, we made it and we evaluated it, and the car actually, it doesn't move anywhere, then we didn't solve the problem. And then we can start this process all over again. Please don't let the kids just give marks for the product. Let them use the process skills when they make something. I really don't have time to go into a lot of detail. I would have liked to just touch on each one. Maybe if you want me to elaborate on this, please send me an email. Then I can make a short canned video and I can upload that. But that is what I wanted to share today. So I don't know if there's any questions from your side or anything that you're still unsure about.
Janae, we've received just one question, which I think you've already touched on, but maybe you just want to reiterate. The question was what the real difference is between inquiry-based approach and the discovery approach.
Okay, the discovery approach, we have the 3 different methods. They have a lot of things that overlap, but with the discovery approach, the main focus is not the process skills. With the inquiry-based approach, the main focus, what you want the kid to understand, is the process skills approach. And that's why the inquiry-based is more suited for our curriculum, because we're not going to use that in the discovery approach. The discovery approach is one that's also been used for many, many years, but like I've said, they've moved everything into this new inquiry-based approach. So both of them use theme tables. Both of them use the kid as they're the one that should explore and find out how everything works. With the discovery approach, you have the 3 modified, guided, and free that gives you exact examples how you should use that. Where with the inquiry based, everything is a bit more, the kid is in control, so it's more modified. If I look at the discovery approach, you as a teacher will guide the kid and don't just give them that questions that you want to answer like in the discovery approach. So that's quickly, if I can explain, the 2 main focus is the process skills that's not in the discovery approach. It's nice, and I think it has its place sometimes in class, but for now, make sure that you understand the inquiry-based approach. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes, that's perfect. Thanks, Janae.
Okay, awesome. I think that's it. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. I really enjoyed having the session with you, and I'm looking forward to your assignments and getting all the questions on email. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Janae, thank you so much for your informative and excellent session.
Awesome. Thank you, Simon.
To our staff and students watching from around the country live, we thank you for participating and for watching today. This has been the Stadio School of Education distance learning event. Just a reminder that the recording to this live event will be available on ECI, and additionally, each session will be available from the respective ECI module sites. So you'll be able to watch these sessions on demand, and we wish you all an enjoyable weekend.
Okay, thank you, Simon. Bye.